Hey team, good afternoon. I just want to go over some training for today. What we're going to cover is going over the expired scripts. And I want to go over the entire expired process and kind of walk you through um, the conversation and kind of what to expect when you're calling on expireds and why we're doing it. So I just want to first off start by saying expireds are some of the best lead sources that we can get in the real estate industry. This is really our focus and our bread and butter of where we get a majority of our business from. And the reason being is because an expired listing is a seller. So now we're focusing always, again, to the entire team's focus when we're making outbound prospecting calls is on sellers. The reason being is sellers is the foundation of all real estate business. People who want to purchase a home or buyers, um, they're not the focus because if you have inventory, aka if you have homes listed, buyers will come. So through having listings, through working with sellers, the rest of the entire real estate business and all those other pieces will match up. So we consistently always want to have more and more listings, and you can never really have enough. So start out by calling expireds. This is going to be the basis of the call coordinator's position. This is the best script to begin calling with. It is the easiest to handle in terms of those types of conversations with sellers. Reason being is because with an expired, here is someone who already has tried selling their home, so they're motivated. Typically, they had a bad experience with another realtor. Maybe they didn't price it right. There might be something that the condition could have been better. Maybe the timing was wrong. Whatever it might be, the reason that the home didn't sell, obviously it didn't happen the first time. But this type of person has expressed an interest. They've already said they're willing to work with an agent. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, it just didn't happen the first time or multiple times in the past. So when we're calling these people, first and foremost, like anything in the real estate industry, we want to remind ourselves that we're in the business of serving our clients. Real estate is a service-based business. And when we're calling expireds, it's really important to know our mindset and then the mindset of that type of seller. You're dealing with someone who had a failed experience, and that contract might have lasted with their other agent, could have lasted anywhere from 3 months to a year, or maybe it was longer. So this seller has spent a lot of time, working with someone else who maybe didn't communicate with them, maybe they didn't do the correct marketing, maybe they were part-time, maybe it could have been a whole bunch of different reasons. And as you become more and more seasoned and have conversations, you're going to get more and more of those answers from these types of people. But ultimately, our job is to provide the value that we have as the right agent. Basically, we're very adept at getting homes sold, and we do things differently than other teams. You're going to pick up on this as we do other types of training together. But when we convey value, what we're essentially trying to convey to the seller is we're the last person you should need to talk to with anything real estate related. So the more and more that you internalize all the different things that we do, and again, we'll cover this in different types of training, the more that that value will be conveyed. We don't work off price. We don't take shortcuts. We don't do, we're not a part-time agent. We are a full service, full-blown team who will service all of our listings and work with our sellers to get their homes sold faster and for more money than anybody else in our marketplace. And so that's why we grow so quickly, why our clients stick with us for such a long time, and why we get the end result, which is to sell the property. So understand that our mindset should always be coming from a place of servitude, a place of, we're here to help you. We are that solution to get the home sold. And the seller's mindset is they're usually in a place of distress, or maybe they were frustrated because they didn't get the result they wanted, which is to move. And that might have caused a whole bunch of different problems in their life. So it's our job to identify those types of um, aspects or the reasons why, what was the real motivation when we go through this script, and then provide the solution, which is us meeting with them to talk about how we can get it sold. So let's just go jump into the scripts. When you're calling expireds, there's basically two things that you're going to want to have open. Obviously, your script, and then the power dialer service that we're going to be using is called Mojo. There's going to be a separate training on that. Stay tuned because we're going to set you up with your own profile. That is the phone service that you are going to be using to reach out to the sellers. And we're going to have those lists preloaded for you. So the other script that you're going to want to have open is your objection handlers. Your objection handlers are the things that when you're going through your script and conversation with the sellers, typical things that they're going to just respond with. All said and done, there's really no more than about 18 to 20 things any seller's going to hit you with, because they just don't know real estate most of the time enough to throw anything at you in terms of an objection that will confuse you. So what we've done is we've compiled all of the most frequent and the most asked questions that a seller will have to you. And once you internalize the answers and respond to these, you're going to be an expert on the phone. We want to get you there as soon as humanly possible. So just have these pulled up in case you forget your script or you don't internalize it quite yet. Because when we go through it, we're going to have our actual process here and then our objection handlers up and ready. So let's just kind of role play a fake phone call with an expired. This is basically how a typical conversation will go. So I'll play both different roles. So we'll end up calling the expired. So ring, ring, and they pick up and they go, hello? Hi, is this George by chance? Yeah, this is George. Hey, George, my name is Jim. Just want to let you know I work with the real estate team in Georgia. How you doing today? Good. Great. Well, the reason for my call is I saw your home came off the market, and I just wanted to reach out to you and see if it's still available or if that home actually sold. We didn't sell it. Who is this? Well, George, I found your information online, but let me ask you a question then. When are you looking to hire the right agent for the job to get it sold? I don't know. Where'd you get our information? So at this point in the conversation, they're going to probably hit you with an objection, because right off the bat, you're asking them, hey, is this the right person? Good. You're speaking to the owner. You're letting them know you're with the real estate team, which we have to do legally right off the bat. And then you're basically saying, hey, great, I saw your home pretty much expired, came off the market, and I wanted to find out if it's still available or if it actually sold. If they said it's sold, go towards the next point, or the next primary objective when you're on the phone, and there's three of them. Primary objective 1, obviously, is to get an appointment. If you can't get an appointment, number 2, ask for a referral. If you can't get a referral or can't set the appointment, the third one is to build rapport with the client. So obviously, every single time that you're making a phone call, you should be building rapport with them. So really, in essence, you can't fail by calling this person. So you wanted to always just go right into it. Well, hey, we were curious to see when you'd be looking to hire the right agent for the job to sell it. And this is usually where they're either going to hit you with an objection or give you a reason why. So this is where, at this point, when you ask this first question, this is when you're going to start trying to build rapport and dig deep into the conversation. Always, we want to figure out in our initial conversation what their reason for selling was. So what's their primary motivation? And then 2, their time frame. So has anything changed? Are they more desperate now? Are they not in a hurry? What was their situation? So usually the question that we start off with is, let's just assume that this person, let's assume that George is, he didn't sell, the agent didn't call him back, and but they're still looking. So, okay, great, George. So why do you need to sell your house? This is usually when we start asking the questions that are too soon to close. So, go for it right off the bat. When are you going to be looking to hire the right agent for the job to sell it? Well, where did you get our information? That's a great question. And then we can just pull it up from here um, in terms of what we're going to be getting hit with. So, oh, well, let's just say that George said, oh, we already have an agent. Okay, great. Is it the same agent who listed your property? No, we're interviewing other agents. Okay, have you already signed paperwork? So this is a great question. If they're saying, we're using someone else, or it seems like they're trying to get you off the phone, we're just going to stick with the same agent. This is when we get hit with, okay, great, that sounds like a great idea. I mean, have you signed a contract with them? Do you have anything in writing? No, great. Well, when are you looking to get the house in the market? So these are all of the most common, and let me just see if we have, it is about 24. So these are the 24 most common objections that we're going to end up handling. So it's good to know these right off the top of your head, because the seller's going to hit you either with an objection right here, right off the bat, or explain their situation, and then we're going to have follow-up questions. So like always, the person asking the questions is in control of the conversation. So, we usually ask them, a great one that I usually start off with is, okay, George, so it sounds like you need to get your home sold. It didn't happen the first time. So, what ended up happening? I mean, did you guys want to relocate, or where are you moving? And then how soon do you need to be there? Why did you first put your home on the market? Kind of start digging into their motivation. So we're kind of asking them the same question a few different times. Now this is a good one. So Mr. Seller, why do you think your home didn't sell? I want to know what you think. Well, the agent never called me, or the marketing wasn't good, or I'm not sure. And then when they come up with an answer, try not to respond to their answer as much as you're trying to move towards the next question. Great, so that's okay. You don't really know why it didn't sell. So how did you go about choosing the last agent you listed with? You're going to get really comfortable with being in control of the conversation the more you know the script. So we want to make sure that we're always working through this and internalizing this as much as possible. We're going to have a separate training module on live phone calls done with expireds. So you can understand, it's kind of hard to role play on a one-on-one basis, but we're going to have role-playing conversations with other people who are live, and then typical conversations, how they flow, and then how we're going to deal with that objection. So for now, just make sure that we're starting to internalize the script, understand that we're really trying to figure out the motivation, their time, and then our goals are always, 1, see if we can set an appointment. 2, if you can't do that, ask for a referral. Or 3, just build rapport with the client. So those are always our primary objective when on the phone with people. So this is a very brief overview of expireds. Please start going through your scripts, read them over and over and over again. The faster you can internalize these, the better that you will be on the phone. These are objections that have never really changed over time because they come up over and over again. Your biggest one is, I'm not looking to sell. Okay, great. Well, we found your information online because it looked like the property expired off the market. So what were the circumstances that would enable you to sell? Just keep in mind that most of these people are going to try to get you off the phone as soon as possible. So, what would my home sell for? This is another great one. Well, it depends, I'd meet with you. Depends on the price. Well, you can't talk about price. And what I usually tell them too, another great response is, that's a great question, Mr. Seller. I'm not really sure what your home is going to sell for because we haven't seen it in person. And, the last time it was on the market, unfortunately, we're not able to see all of the homes that hit the market. And, for whatever reason, we didn't have a buyer who was looking at that time. But what we'd like to do is actually see it in person, because that's the only real way you can quantify value. It looks like the pictures online are pretty nice. Looks like you got a lot of upgrades for your neighborhood, but ultimately, realtors are very good at making pictures pop and look their best. And the only real way I can quantify the value is seeing it in person. So let's just do this. Let's see if we can set a time where we can meet with you. we'll have our listing specialist, who's Jim. He'll come out. He's my business partner, and he'll walk through the home with you. He'll kind of compare what's in the photos to what you really have in real life. Talk about some of the reasons why it didn't sell, and then you guys can discuss how we can help get the home sold faster and for more money than with the previous agent. So when's a good time for us to meet? Jim looks like he has a 2 o'clock open tomorrow. So you just want to make sure that you're always trying to close them as well as you go through your objections. So in the script, really at this critical point, if you can close it, that's when we go right back into, well, great, fantastic. So, we specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time around. And I was hoping to see if you'd be free to get together for about 15 minutes so we can talk with you about why your house didn't sell and see what happens in order for it to sell at this point. So what usually works better for you? Are weekdays or weekends better? Looks like Jim's got an opening on Friday at 2 p.m. Is that a good time for us to come over and meet with you? So just kind of keep that in mind. We're always trying to close them as soon as possible because that is your main objective on the phone. If for whatever reason they're just absolutely, we're never going to sell it again, we're staying, our circumstances have changed, go into your script, which is going to be an additional training on asking for a referral. All right, great. Well, Mr. Seller, I appreciate it. Before I hang up real quick today, I just wanted to ask you, because I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. If you're not looking to sell, would you happen to know anybody else who's looking to either buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Maybe someone from church or work. And then if they say, you know what, I don't know of anybody right now, great, thank you so much, I appreciate you thinking about it. If anybody does decide to move down the road, or if it's something that you want to pursue, a few months, maybe a year or two down the road, if your circumstances change, when's a good time for us to follow back up with you? And then you're going to ask them, when is the good time to follow back up with them? If they say, you know what, why don't you just call me 3 or 4 months down the road and see if anything changes? Okay, great. And in the meantime, is there an email or another additional information I can use to get in contact with you so we can give you a market update? And then that way I'll have the listing agent, who's our specialist for getting the property sold, he'll email you a market update so you're up to speed. So if and when that time comes where maybe we can get you what you need to move, you'll know. So is there a good email address I can jot down to send that to you? Oh, okay, here it is. So we always want to make sure we're trying to close them, move them into the next priority for us. If we can't get the appointment, move into a referral. If we can't get the referral, move into trying to get more information or correct information to reach out to them, set up that expectation of when we're going to do that, and then just build rapport with the client. So that's going to conclude our intro training today for the expireds. This is a great one to start out calling. Once we get familiar with the scripts and get a little bit more calls under our belt, we'll be able to move into some different conversations with for sale by owners and the other lead sources that are seller focused. So I hope that this was helpful. Just go through your scripts, get familiar with them, and stay tuned for more training. Thanks, and make it a great day.